Welcome to GCCars. My name is Eric and this is the 2022 Chevy Silverado ZR2. This is an issue, but that... After many years, finally we got the Silverado ZR2, Chevy's Raptor fighter, and it does look quite mean. It does look quite mean, I must say. And of course, as always, as you already see, this is already pretty dirty. We're going to take it for an off-road spin today. We do Baja-style running, and we're going to do trail, and we're going to go quite hard on this, as you might be able already to see on the side scratches. But before we do that, why don't we take a quick look at the exterior and see what's changed. If you just want to come here a little closer to show the front end. So of course, what you already see, this ZR2 is lifted. This is quite a bit bigger, but the most noticeable thing is red tow hooks and the flow tie. Coming from the Camaros, this is kind of the more aerodynamic version of Chevy's bow tie logo, and as you can see, I can literally go right through there, so that increases the aerodynamic cooling coming through. And then if we move over to the side, we have these 33-inch Goodyear Wrangler tires, of course bigger tires, all-terrain tires, and the biggest thing, what's behind that, I'll show you some B-roll for that, is we have the new Multimatic shocks. We've already known them from the Colorado, we've already known them from some Camaros and Corvettes, but now they're on the Colorado, and I can already tell they are quite cool. Also notice the cutout at the bumper to give us a bit more access and clearance here for the wheels, and if we go on tighter trails. Really important thing, especially when I'm driving, we have rocker bars down on the side, so if you do a little bit of an oopsie and slam this thing down on a rock, well, they're gonna take the hit, and I can already tell you they do a pretty good job. Yeah, that happened. Anyhow, other than that, you see it's already scratched up. Don't worry about it. It's just dust. The paint is mostly fine under that. And then why don't we go to the doors here real quick? Take a quick look inside here. As you can see, through the lift and the lack of steps we have to get, we kind of have to jump in here. But other than, I'll be honest, guys, we literally just reviewed the new Sierra Denali. This isn't quite as nice, but in terms of layout, comfort, and usability, just watch that video. It's in the top right-hand corner. Other than that, what's specific to the ZR2? We have, of course, more stuff here, like the front and the rear diff locks. We have different materials. It's not quite as nice as the Sierra Denali, but the important thing is, just like in the Sierra we tested, this is a massive upgrade compared to the pre-refresh Silverado. The infotainment and the digital gauge cluster are really good. They work really well. Usability is good. Once again, we could use some cup holders that store smaller stuff, but that's unfortunately the card that we've been dealt. And other than that, no, it looks good. It's usable. Backseat, plenty of room. Who cares? Let's go off-roading, okay? Okay, out on the trail in the Silverado ZR2. Brake torque. Let's see how quick she goes. And we want to brake because this is not a Raptor. But I will be entirely honest with you folks. I got into this and, you know, reading up on it, watching videos about it, and I've taken an F-150 Raptor right here, and I was absolutely astounded by the capabilities of that truck. Whatever I threw at it, short of literally trying to destroy it with everything I can, it just took it. And I knew this is a little more oriented towards, you know, trail riding, but as I say that, that's our front end bouncing. This is actually, surprisingly capable in terms of Baja running. Of course, this is not necessarily 100% accurate Baja running, but it is really good. And what you will notice that the suspension in the off-road modes is absolutely compliant. Like, you take bumps, you literally jump the front end, and it's not that uncomfortable. It is surprisingly compliant. If you take bumps at slower speeds, excuse the lighting here, you'll actually be fairly comfortable. It is quite funny. Unlike in the Raptor, which was a little more brash, I guess. But there is a difference. This is still not a Raptor, and that comes mainly in terms of two things. I don't have quite as much faith as I have in the Raptor, for multiple reasons. That is, the Raptor had years and generations of making sure that that thing can literally jump. This is the first Silverado ZR2. We're not quite sure, and I don't want to break the front suspension. And secondly, the Raptor just felt a little, well, actually quite a bit more controllable on these kinds of trails and off-road Baja running. The Raptor, at any time, you felt 100% in control. This sometimes You do notice the DSSV shocks, while they keep fairly good contact to the ground. Let me just turn around here real quick. You feel a little looser than you do feel in the Raptor, and especially under braking, you do notice that the Raptor felt a lot more planted. But with that being said, this still performs way better than any stock vehicle should ever do. This is absolutely ridiculous. This is stupid. If you do what I do to this ZR2 to your own, my God, you don't care for money, because this shouldn't take it, but it does. I do this because I want to show you how insanely capable this is, because I've never felt somebody talk about the Baja running capabilities of this ZR2. Also, what's really funny, the HUD always tells me I have low traction whenever I'm braking in my air, and my front wheels are in the air, and it's like, duh. But this is Baja running. We know the Raptor can do this a little better. We do have a bit of an advantage though, once we turn off the Baja trails into the tight trails. Because once we go to the trails, there's two things we will notice. First of all, this ZR2 is narrower, quite a bit narrower than the Raptor. This is a trail we've taken actually in the Bronco Sport, if their review is already up. Actually, goodbye GoPro, because we need to look out the window. So, we go here. This is narrower than a Raptor. So this can do trails that a Raptor never could, simply because it is, well, too wide. But at the same time, what it also has that elevates it across over the Raptor in terms of off-roading capabilities on trails is we have a front lock. The Raptor only has rear. This has front and rear lockers, making it more capable in terms of low grip scenarios. That doesn't mean it's perfect though. We do have cameras available, but unfortunately, they don't pop up automatically in off-road modes like they do in the Raptor. If I put the Raptor into Baja or any terrain modes, I have let me just navigate this real quick here. All right, let me just go into a different mode. Which are we actually in? For auto, let's go into 4 high. So I don't have permanent access to these cameras. Once I go over a certain speed, my cameras will disappear. Which, especially with this giant hood bulge, like right now, I cannot see what's in front of me. I need these cameras. On a slower trail like this, it's not a big issue. But once you go somewhere faster and you actually need to see what's in front of you, this is an issue. But that was a rocket bug. That's what happened. But that's a software thing. So we don't need to be too concerned about that, because they can just literally update that. Let's watch over the mirrors. They can just update that, give it as a little update for the next model year, and enable us to use the cameras while off-road moding. Now we have a bit of an obstacle here. Even I in the ZR2 need to put my mirrors in, which means the Raptor has absolutely no shot of going through here. Okay, we made that. So let's go back and go up this trail, the rest of the trail. We made it most of the way. Talking is hard, my friends. And now we go to the really steep bits. Okay, we want to switch between the cameras. The cameras are great that we do have actually, because we have wheel cameras and we have front cameras, and the wheel cameras are incredibly useful if we want to place this. So what we want to do is put it into neutral, go into 4 low, lock the rear diff. I want to make some use of what we have here. We don't really need the front locking diff. I've used it earlier, but we don't really need to. But now rear diff locked, front lockers, rear lockers, pardon me. And we can just creep up that hill. You notice beforehand that when we were in the low, didn't have the lockers on, we were struggling a little for grip. And now we can just cruise up here. Once again, I literally can't see out front, so I need my camera. And okay, that's a cone. Good to know. Let's simply drive around that. Okay, now we got a little rock up ahead. I'll take another look out here. Okay, over. There we go. And rear wheel is going to touch it here in a second. There we go. Okay, and we made it. Is this the most treacherous trail as a Silverado can take. No, it can do a little more, but you gotta imagine and gotta keep in mind that right now I don't have a support truck. And now we are back up top. Look at the sun is shining back into our cabin, and the Silverado, a couple scratches here and there more, but that's what it's made for. And it dealt with everything we threw at it without a problem. This surprised me. It's more capable than I thought. So why don't we descend back down this trail? We actually have the descent control, which we can just quickly enable here. Set to 3 kilometers an hour. Hill descent control. Let's put her up a little bit. Doesn't need quite to be that slow. We put her back into 4 auto. 4 high, pardon me. Actually, we can go a little faster here again. 4 kilometers an hour, 5 kilometers an hour. And so the hill descent control, essentially what it does driving and braking for me. So the acceleration and braking. I don't need to do anything besides steering, which means I can focus on avoiding obstacles. While this, even at, right now we're at a 10-degree downward slope, which is going to get a lot bigger here in a second, I can just focus and control on the steering, which is really nifty. But I will be entirely honest, I just kind of want to do it manually because that's more fun. So let's take manual control. I'm doing the braking, I'm doing the accelerating, although downhill we're not really doing it much. And now this is going down 15 degrees downwards. Okay, I'm gonna go a little more here. 17 degrees down. Yep, this is quite good. And we have loose grounds, we're kind of on rocks, left and right, 18 degrees downhill. And we just have to stay in control, and the bumps just get absorbed. These, here we got the rock again. Let's look at it. Over. These GSS shocks are actually incredibly phenomenal. They are fantastic. They do a great job. And on the road, they're surprisingly compliant. I just came out of the Denali Ultimate, and I'll be entirely honest with you folks, this kind of rides better. But it's also a lot taller, and due to the off-road suspension, we have terrible gas mileage, even on the highway. So, yeah. That's not where I wanted to go. Just back up out of that one. That's why we have the cameras for, folks. So let's keep her left, actually, because that was a bit of a gap in there. Keep her down. A little bit of sliding, a little bit of 20 degrees downhill now. Let's get more extreme. Bit of movement in the back, but no problem. Sorry for the pain as always, but trust me, most of it just washes off. Most of it. Now let's put in the mirrors again so we can actually see. Actually, never mind. I need to see a little more. Where do we have that little stump? Where are you? There it is. And now get around it. Okay, we clear just about. Put in the mirror so that little tree don't scratch everything up. Okay, we've done what we wanted. Now be a little careful here. Now don't bash the rocker bars again, as good as they are. I literally just checked them. They are, nothing's on there. You don't even see that we hit it, and we hit it pretty good. And go up. Okay. Now I want to see up front. This bulge is really big. This is like, it is hard to see out of this thing. I'm literally downhill, I'm mostly driving cameras. I'm not even looking outside much. But it's doing such a fantastic job. It's making it easy for me. Go a little slow. Avoid the trees. Okay. And almost done. A little bit of tight ending here. Watch out, some of the water that's coming down the last few weeks has washed out a bit of the trail, so we have to be mindful of that. And with that, we are back out. This is insanely capable. It is more capable than I thought, and it is just considering this is $30,000 less than a Raptor, that's the bargain. At $86,000 or something. Maybe not that much of a bargain, but you get what I mean. Anyhow, I think with that, it's time to send it off to the final thoughts. Final thoughts on the 2022 Chevy Silverado ZR2, or sorry, Canadian's ZR2. And I will be entirely honest, as you probably noticed in the final review, in the main review part, this is way more capable than I thought. I was aware that it is insanely capable on trails, just as it showed. But what it took, the abuse it took in the Baja running, the literal jumps on the front end it took without complaining about it, is very impressive. Yes, I didn't go quite as far as with the Raptor because I did feel some limitations and didn't want to risk it. The Raptor is still the king of Baja running. But if you want to do reasonable amounts of Baja running, but mostly trails, which, let's be honest, in most parts of this country or the US, you will do more trails than Baja, then the ZR2 right here is an incredibly capable and fun off-roader. And at a price of $86,098 Canadian, it beats the Raptor in terms of pricing by almost $30,000, which is not insignificant, even if we're talking about almost $90,000 trucks. So all I can really say here is, good freaking job, Chevy. You put out an amazing product, an amazing truck. I absolutely love it. I very much enjoyed my time with it, and I can't wait to see what's next for the ZR2s, which is probably going to be the new Colorado. Until then, thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, make sure to like and subscribe, because we got videos every single week, everything from off-road trucks like this and the Raptor to luxury cars and sports cars and everything in between. And other than that, thank you so much for watching. Remember to love yourself even in hard times, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Thank you and goodbye. All right.
Good.
Bam, let's go first try. Sorry, I'm a bit hyped up.